Well, hey, how y'all doing out there? I hate to talk about such a sad and surreal subject in our country, but after so many people have sent me the video of Miss Pamela being shot down by that police down there in that Juan Manuel Juan de la Cruz, 11-year veteran officer down there that lives in the apartment she even lives in, just shot her straight down. No matter what happened, he already knew this woman. Y'all saw the video. Yeah, she's giving a little bit of a fuss, but she's a grandmother, by the way. And if I'm not mistaken, she might have even had mental issues. She was screaming she was pregnant, but he already knew her, so he didn't care. He didn't listen. He shot her cold. I mean, we saw it. Oh, and even if he got bit by his taser, the video does not say what the police say. So in a response to all y'all sending me those videos and just shaking your head like me, just crying about this, watching this. How long we been watching it, y'all? So we've talked about it, right? So here's my response to what happened in Baytown. This is my response to you, we the people. So our grandmothers and our fathers and brothers and uncles, our people, just quit getting murdered in the street, especially Black America, because it seems like there's just unreal, unreal decisions made against Black people that don't seem to be made against nobody else. So in response to this, I got to say this. We have already talked about how the police are. We have already talked about how they want low IQ officers that just take commands and don't question things. We have talked about the fact about how this is unfair. We have talked about how it's been even racially motivated. We have talked about how they're just shooting homeless people and mentally ill people and unarmed people like never before. We've talked and talked and talked. We see the problem. We get angry. We fuss. We fight. But how do we stop the police murders in this country? Huh? That's what we want, right? All right. I want the justice. I want to see bastards like De La Cruz and that Joe Gamaldi fuck up there in down there in Houston, Texas, that said he's going to survey us because we question their bots raid. I'm even tired of people like damn Donald Trump sitting there saying beat us up more and throw us in a police car. So we can't get no justice on them, y'all. We get thrown some crumbs, we the people. We get thrown a few crumbs here and there. Hell, even foreigners get compensated for we do. So what do? How do we stop it? Well, I'm sorry. Guess what? We can't. We can't stop it. But what we can do is change our thinking. We can change the way that we behave and live with our own selves, y'all, in our own community. Most of the time that these happen, they happen in situations like this. So as bad as I hate to say it, maybe we do need to stay in groups. Maybe we don't need to be walking off alone. Maybe we want to avoid any police for any reason. Because if you need any more proof in America that calling the police, even on your relative or somebody acting up in the house, somebody with PTSD, somebody back from war, somebody that's on drugs, even just one of your loved ones, you can call in their best interest and bam, or they can just see them. They've already dealt with them enough and they're tired of dealing with them. What you gonna tell me that I don't believe that police shoot people they get tired of dealing with? You damn straight they do. You don't think that I believe that the police will shoot somebody in an area of high crime and publicize it and he'll walk so they'll scare the rest of us into not doing something? You damn straight I do. This is straight up evil control, y'all. You ever want to know what fascism is? It's controlled by the fist. It's controlled by fear. So we got to change us. We can't change this system. Yes, I begged y'all just a couple weeks ago, please go to your mayors, or the mayor that hires the police chiefs, elect people to get in here. But still, it's going to happen. We got to change what we're doing. So now we got to just start thinking different. The planet's evolving. Our country's evolving, you're evolving, we all evolve. So we got to evolve our thinking about law enforcement in America, especially in America, because this ain't going on nowhere else, y'all. I mean, anywhere else it happens, it's called a military coup or a military takeover, or the military's running people like this, like China and stuff. Not the police, not the people that we're supposed to protect and serve us. We have to change our thinking, y'all. We have to look at them for what they are. They are law enforcement. They are going to protect themselves above you. They have ganged up, okay? But the difference between their gangs and we, the people's gang, is that we are fighting for our life. They are fighting for our death. They are brainwashed. Yes, they are human beings. They are just like you and me. But here's the thing. Somehow in their mind, they were twisted into believing that you and me and anybody else out there that does anything wrong is a criminal, that our life is less than theirs. Their gang protects their gang. Their gang covers their gang. So why is any other group of people that would be considered a gang, a group of people that dress up the same and have a thug mentality, why would they be considered different than anybody else? But now take the community. The community is a gang. So we got to change our thinking about the people around us. Man, you may not like none of them, but they ain't shooting you in the street unarmed, are they? And if they are, is that police coming? What's he going to do about it? Shoot everybody in the street unarmed? Because that's what it's come down to. Do you want military vehicles on your street? Do you want just men dressed up like soldiers up and down the street with automatic weapons? That's what happens when we fight each other. And guess what? We're going to have to change that thinking real quick, we the people. And here's where you might not care what I got to say, because this is the ultimate truth. You also know, as well as you know, law enforcement is not there to serve and protect. You also know that we are played against each other. The racism, the bigotry, the class warfare, all of it. We're played against each other. So I want to live. I'm a white man and I want to live. And you may be a black sister or a black brother or a Latino, whatever you are. You're my brother and sister is what I see. And that's where we got to go. I want to live, and I want you to live. The things around us that are killing us are not us. I do not hate you. I have no reason to hate you. Whether I like you or not, or believe your opinion or worship your God, what does that matter? I want you to live. Do you want me to live? I cannot stop the police murders, y'all. I can only ask you to rethink the way you look at your brother, the way that you look at your sister, the way that you look at your community. Back in the day, you could call the man if somebody was pissing you off, if the kids down the street had the noise up too loud, or if somebody's dog was barking all night. Nowadays, when you make that call on them noisy kids or that barking dog, you risk those kids' life and you risk that dog's life. It's just the way it is. I did not make it this way, y'all. You did not make it this way. 90% of us in America are not criminals or even have a criminal mentality. And the 10% that do, most of them are in the prison, and the rest of them wear blue, and they wear a badge, and they're called the police. You got to look at how we draw them into our lives. How can we keep the police out of our lives? How can we, in our flash of a moment of anger with a brother or sister or something going on in our neighborhood, how can you not stop for a minute and think that no matter how that situation turns out, even if you and a buddy get into a fight and you both get a bloody nose, you're both alive. You're both not paying fines. You're not both being kidnapped and in prison. And that's another thing. If you cannot avoid these police, y'all, if you can't avoid these thugs that will murder you and murder your grandmother in the street, that will throw a stun grenade on your baby, if you cannot avoid these criminal murderers, then what you do is when they do get you, do not resist. I can't believe that came out of my mouth. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Lay down. Do it in a sense of a sarcastic giving in to a kidnapper. You know what I mean? Just lay down. They fit in the arrest you, say, fine, lay down on the ground right then. I don't want to see no more of you die. It ain't worth bucking on these sons of bitches. You get me? I bucked on them and I laid down. I had my ass whipped both times when I do it. And listen here, here's something else we can do. When somebody has said, fuck it, they're going to kidnap me, let's change our wording on what's really going on. You're not being detained. You're not being arrested. You're being kidnapped. Okay? You're being kidnapped. So I agree. So we all know that we're being kidnapped, but you can get out of your being kidnapped. They can put the ransom out, which will be your fine or your bond. You can walk out of jail alive, but you will not walk away from the police alive. And listen, you're grown folks. This is grown folks' business. If you feel a need to take matters in your hand as a free man or a free woman, please do. I applaud you for that, because as a free man, I will do the same thing. This is advice to keep you my tribe, the people I love, alive. If you want to live, you don't have to go along with them. You don't have to just don't resist. Let it get over with. Get to the jail. Get bonded out. Whatever it is. Avoid these people at all costs. Avoid contact with these people at all costs. When they got you in them cuffs, when they got you in that county jail with them smart-ass deputies that have no souls, that walk around, that can imprison other men and watch them and laugh at them, when they're keep your mouth shut. I have to tell myself when I go in there, keep your mouth shut. You know why I get my ass whooped all the time? Because I open my mouth to the police. You really want to know? Because I'll call them a traitor. I don't call them the kind of traitor you think. They're a race traitor to the human race. No man should ever take on a job to keep and control another man. Yes, we have criminals, and we used to have communities that took care of that. We used to raise our kids not to be criminals. We used to not, and that's the other thing. The game that's been played on you that I mentioned and talked with y'all so many times about how you're fucked with, the war for the mind, right? That's the biggest one. We're played into a mentality of murder. Look at the people in our country, y'all. Look at the woman that just 25-year-old woman pushes a 80-something-year-old man off the bus because he was just asking her to be nice to other people. That's what they done to us. That's we the people. So we're going to keep looking at the police and saying they're the bad guy. Well, big deal. We can be the bad guy too. So we got to learn to love each other. I don't care if you like each other. You can't be killed if you're not in there around them, and they won't be around us if they're not needed. If they're not needed, we're not calling them. If they're not having to cruise by, and that's the other thing. I love community enough to say I wish you would do this as a community effort. But now when you're sitting outside to have a cigarette, a lot of people like to step outside and have a cigarette, and you live in apartment places, you live in places where this is going to happen, like Bankhead, Atlanta, and stuff like that. You live in them kind of areas, just group up, man. Just group up. Don't make it look flashy and cool, just for a while. Every time I think and you too, every time we think that we're going to get over this, that it starts to get less and less, they just throw something more macabre and surreal in our face, shooting a mentally ill grandmother. A grandmother, an old woman. I mean, what the hell, man? You can't protect yourself against an old woman. But that's just it. I'm going back to that police, that piece of shit. And I was really glad to see the people of Baytown standing up and protesting to give him murder charges, but he's probably not going to get them because nobody else hardly does, you see? But that's the point. We know who they are now. There's no denying it. I don't want to go through the talking points. There ain't no talking points. There is living points and dying points. There is a monster that we fight for our life against, but we don't want to become that monster. I don't want to be the monster that fights me. So how can I be who I am and love life when I have murderers and killers all around me? As we talked about, you can just stay away. You can just be who you are. You can work on your community. You can work on your relationship with your brother. We can make less of a need for these people. Because it seems like, you ever notice something else, y'all? The less crime, as crime goes down, more boots get stuck on our back. More people get shot. It's like they don't back off. That's my point. It ain't going to stop. I don't even believe I live in a fucking country where I got to talk to y'all about this, man. I don't even believe that it got to this point. I do want to, I want to tell you what I want to do, but we can't. Because that's not who we are. That's not who we are. In defense of our lives, you stand up and defend your life with everything you have. But we gotta change our thinking. We gotta change our behavior. And not in a drastic way, just away from them. We have to take law enforcement out of our lives. All right? So I'm sorry about the title. I wish I could tell you how to stop police murder. I wish I could tell you how to stop murder. I wish I could tell you how to stop hate. I wish I could tell you how to look at your brother and realize that is you. That is you. We are all we got, y'all. We've lost our connection. They stole that. They stole that from us. That's why I stay angry. But we know it so we can have it. We can get it back. So take our common enemy, the blue criminals, the blue ISIS, the terrorists of the United States of America, the American police officer, and keep them out of your life. And also shun them all. Shun them all. If there was a good cop is an oxymoron. Because let me tell you why. If there was such a thing as a fucking good cop, there would be other cops turned in. So no, there's coward cops and there's killer cops. And both of them need to be shunned. We do not need these people looking over our communities, our grandmothers, our children, nobody. They don't need to be there. They were hired, and I know they hate it when they realize it. They were hired because they were stupid followers. Well, I'm not a stupid follower, and neither are you. Y'all are nowhere near close to it. So quit listening to the lies that fuck us up. You hear me? You let other people be free so you can be free. You love everybody around you, whether you like them or not. And you realize that by loving your brother and looking out after him, the life you save may be your own. Think about that. All right? As far as what went on in Baytown, my heart goes out again. I can't stand this, y'all. I don't know why it affects me like it does. I see the evil behind it. I see the agenda behind it. And it's hard to say it without sounding like a crazy man. But they want to keep us in fear, and our lives mean nothing. And something bigger is coming up. So we have to unite, not just against the police murder. We have to unite to live, coexist to exist. Well, these people chose not to be part of we the people. The people in law enforcement chose their side. They chose to fight to the death. We chose to fight for life. So please, brothers and sisters, fight for life. I could give a rat's ass less about what you'll die for. I want to know what you'll live for and how you'll go about doing that living. Because I love you. Think about that. Peace. And don't live in fear. And fuck the police. Murdering motherfuckers.